So I was watching this video today by a YouTuber called Jack Albatron, and he was mentioning that 100% raw food diet isn't really his vibe or the way he does things, and that he will whenever have a cooked food meal and then go right back to raw. And I've met Jack. Sorry, hope you can still hear me or see me. I've met Jack, and I think I asked him about this, or spoke to him a little bit about this. The thing is, if he can do that, he's one of the very few people I've ever met who can do that. Because everyone else wants to do that. Everyone who experiments with a raw food diet would love to have a cooked food meal once in a while and then just go right back to raw without any consequence or without any difficulty in going back to raw. And I've just never seen anyone do that, and I've never heard anyone say that was an experience that they found easy. What generally happens is that the cooked food takes over, by which I mean you just start gradually eating more and more and more cooked food to the point that you're no longer eating a raw food diet at all. And that's what generally happens. And I'm not saying that that's not the case with Jack. I don't know, because I've never really spent time with him outside of like the Woodstock Fruit Festival. But for most people, that's not going to be a possibility, I don't think. And I've always questioned it when people have said that to me, because people have said that to me in the context of wanting to appear to be doing a raw food diet. And because I've then discovered so many of those people weren't eating a raw food diet like at all, or very little, that's when I've become kind of skeptical when people say, like, I have cooked food every now and again. You know, once in a while I have some, this is the phrase, once in a while I have some steamed vegetables. That's how it always goes. When someone tells you every now and again I have some steamed vegetables, it means that they're like eating toast and pizzas and all this stuff, right? It's never like just steamed vegetables, really. But there's no judgment, there's no looking down on people, there's no sort of you're a bad person, you're not raw or anything like that. It's nothing to do with that. But and I'm not saying that Jack doesn't do that, I'm just saying I think you will struggle to follow, I think most people will struggle to follow that, because cooked food is most certainly pretty addictive for most people, and it's still something that's a bit controversial to say. I think I lost a lot of subscribers and all that over the years because of saying stuff like that, and you're more popular if you just say, yeah, just go with the flow, eat cooked food when you like and all that. And it just doesn't work for me. I don't like eating cooked food. I don't like the effect of it. I don't like being addicted to something, which is what it inevitably leads to. I don't like the digestion. I don't like the feeling. I just don't see it as being in any way preferable to 100% raw, which is easier. 100% is easier than 99%. Now, I do believe that people follow like a Roswell 4 diet. Raw in the morning, raw in the afternoon, cooked meal at night. I get that people do that quite a lot. But once again, it's never quite as people portray it, you know. And I don't think people are eating that much raw food. I think they're just delaying their eating till later on in the day. Because the thing about raw food is, or say like bananas, if you eat enough bananas, you really take away a lot of your hunger craving. And there's something satisfying about being really hungry and then eating something like cooked food, or eating something gourmet or complex. Satisfying in the kind of short-term sense, not in the real sense. Whereas eating fruit is satisfying because it ruins your appetite. But when you're not hungry and then you try and eat cooked food, it's not as same a pleasure. So I think people sort of just eat a little bit of fruit throughout the day, and that's like their raw for. But it's harder to reintroduce cooked food and then keep it limited than just not have it at all. It's much easier to not have cooked food at all, if that's what you're going for. And if you've realised the benefit of raw food over cooked food, then I don't see the reason why you wouldn't. And the only reason I can see is that you still enjoy the cooked food, but not in the sense that you enjoy the result of it, but that you enjoy the short-term pleasure or taste of it, which is very short-term. But the impact of it is that it is any food that's not optimal is in your system for the next couple of hours. In fact, longer than that. Another day, 12 hours. So you're still dealing with that the whole time. I'm not one that likes to think, well, as long as it's plant-based or something, that it's healthy or that it's good for you. I'm not really on that page. I think we need to get the paradigm away from the idea that anything being cooked is healthy in any way. Like, and once again, if that's your choice, that's your choice. It's but I think it should be known that it is a bit of a compromise, and it's not, it's not the absolute best. I think a lot of the reasons people give for having no fruit, it's almost like they allow that to happen so that they have a reason to eat cooked food. Like Jack was mentioning, well, sometimes if I'm away somewhere, I might be able to get fruit and everything, and I understand that, but I don't think fruit is that much harder to find than cooked food, because it all comes from the same place. Like, it all comes from the supermarket. Obviously, if you're talking about going to a restaurant, that's different. You're going to struggle to find a restaurant that's going to serve you lots of bananas, but you can get smoothies and juices, and you can definitely get juice anywhere you go. And I thought it was funny that Jack said something like, the reason that I don't focus on raw is because I focus on my health. And I've heard people say that. I think Happy Healthy Vegan said something like that. The reason I don't focus on raw because I focus on my health. I don't understand how that works, because it seems like people are saying, I don't want to focus enough on my health to make sure that I've got the food that I want, that I believe is the best at all times. I'm not that focused on my health. I'll be focused enough so that if I can't get the ideal food, I'll eat something that's not ideal. So I don't see the two things as being the same. I don't see the two things as matching up. I found this really funny, because to me, really, the whole idea of health and natural hygiene and all that has really been brought back and pioneered by the raw food movement, by Doug Graham and people like that, the Woodstock Fruit Festival speakers, and these are the people that are talking about overall health. These are the people that have taught people about that concept. Doug Graham in the 80-10-10 diet has a whole page of a list of the different things that lead to health, the study of hygiene, the science of human health. And I don't know if Dr. McDougall and Dr. Michael, like they talk about plant-based diet. They talk about not a vegan diet, but a plant-based diet, and they pretty much just talk about the diet. They still seem to get it wrong by recommending cooked food. So how can you just focus on diet and still recommend cooked food? I don't know. But then people will say, how dare you question these doctors? It's like, I do dare to question the doctors. I do dare to question the doctors, because they're missing out on the obvious, and it's so obvious. It's so obvious. This is what's funny about it. Like, the idea that where's the science behind a raw food diet? Where's the science behind this? People like unnatural vegan and all these, oh, there's no science behind this, it's a deficient diet and all the rest of it. Okay, if a raw food diet is deficient, why is the solution to eat food that you must prepare in such a way that it reduces the nutrition in that food and reduces our body's ability to actually get that nutrition out of the food? What I mean is, if you're looking to get more nutrition and then you eat cooked food to get that, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. What you're saying is, I need more nutrition, I'm going to eat this other food to get that nutrition. I'm going to, for some reason, pretend or believe that that food has more nutrients or the nutrition that I need. But in order to get that nutrition, I'm going to limit the amount of nutrition and limit my body's ability to get that nutrition by cooking it. And we use the word cooking, let's use the real word, damaging it. I'm going to apply a high level of heat to it to damage it. It doesn't make sense. It only comes from an addictive mindset. It's just like an addictive person justifying why they continue to gamble or why they continue to smoke cigarettes or whatever. But it's fascinating because, and that's the basic point. We don't need to go much farther than that. You talk about the science of raw food. We know unquestionably, any food, you apply heat to it, you reduce the nutrition, you damage your food, you limit the body's ability to get nutrients out of the food. It dehydrates the body because it takes water out of the food, and you're also subjecting the body to foods that the body is unable to digest unless it has been cooked. We have safeguards in place to literally stop us from eating those foods in its raw state. We just can't eat wheat or these other starches in their raw state. And that's the funny thing, like when someone says, yeah, I eat a raw food diet and I felt I was missing something, so I thought I would eat some cooked food. That doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't, if you think that eating cooked potatoes is going to give you nutrition, more nutrition than fruit or whatever, surely a raw potato would give you even more nutrition. So the answer is really to eat a raw potato. But that's not what people do, because a raw potato is inedible and disgusting. So that's your sensory safeguards telling you not to eat it. But then they don't listen to that, they cook it so that they can eat it. So I'm bringing this video to an end. I hope you've got something out of it. Maybe I'm just preaching to the choir or whatever, which is okay. But I just I want to conclude basically by saying, I'm not saying that Jack isn't doing that, but I think he's one of the few people that can do it if he does do that. Even long-term raw foodists that I've known, the reason they can't do that, they've tried that, right? So he's one of the rare people that can do it. I don't think it's going to work for everyone. I think most people are going to go back to more cooked food to the point that it takes over the diet. And if you really enjoy the benefits of raw food, you should just continue to work on heading towards 100% raw, because it is just a process. It's a process. It takes a little bit of time, mindset and whatever else, and maybe come to a fruit festival, come to Woodstock or somewhere and learn and get the I went up a closed road here. And yeah, and obviously I'll give a little plug to my own festival, the UK Fruit Fest. If you'd like to come, it happens in 20 odd days. fruitfest.co.uk. You can use my code FruitFest Special to get a discount, so you can check that out. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, feel free to share, leave me some comments below letting me know what you would like to see next, and we'll see you again in the next video.